A lesson in Endoxa Learning has two parts. First, we show you how to argue for a conclusion, and then you can modify the argument to bring in your own ideas. In this video, I'm going to show you how this works. In this case, we're looking for a lesson titled "The UK Parliament is Sovereign." This lesson is in the Politics A-level course, so I'm going to click on Politics, and then UK Politics, Parliamentary Relations. The lesson is in the Parliamentary Sovereignty section, so I click on the lesson. Here is the first stage of the lesson. This statement is the final conclusion of the argument. Every lesson is aimed at a possible exam question. In this case, it could be "The UK Parliament is sovereign, discuss," or it might be "To what extent is the UK Parliament sovereign?" This lesson has 12 stages. You can see the stage numbers at the bottom of the screen. The argument is presented in stages 1 to 11. On stage 12, the last stage, you can modify the argument yourself. Doxa, the assistant, gives instructions and advice. We get started by clicking Next. Here's the first step of the argument graph. The premises are at the top and the conclusion is underneath. In between is the argument type. You can click on the box to find out more. The purple bar represents the strength of the argument step. You can see whether the argument step is pro or con the conclusion. You get the argument step in prose and the critical questions. These help you to critique the reasoning. There's a video to explain each argument type. Now we'll go to stage 3. Here we see how argument steps can form chains of argument. The second step reaches the conclusion we're looking for, that the UK's Parliament is sovereign. But we're not done. This lesson is going to look at a couple of counter-arguments and refute them. This is a scenario box. It gives contextual information. You can click and read what it says, and then you can dismiss it so it doesn't clutter the argument diagram. Here is a counter-argument that refutes one of the premises of our main argument. A blue statement is true and a red statement is false. The counter-argument has made this statement false. But this counter can be defeated by evidence. An evidence statement modifies the strength of the argument step. You can see the purple bar has disappeared. This argument step is defeated, and the vital premise is true again. Here's the whole of the argument so far. Now we'll look at a different counter-argument. The brain icon is a knowledge box. You can click it to get factual information. This counter-argument causes a conflict at the final conclusion. The original assumption was that this statement was true, but the reasoning of the counter-argument makes it false. So the statement is conflicted and it's greyed out. There's a video here to explain this. But this can be fixed by undermining this counter-argument in a similar way to the first one. Now we can look at the whole argument graph of the lesson. This is a visual representation of the whole argument. It can be a visual essay plan or a revision tool. Next, we will look at how you can change the argument and add your own ideas. On the last stage of the lesson, you can change anything. There are some short animations to show you the basics, longer explanation videos that go into more detail, and a definition of each argument type. I'm going to add a new argument step. I've already added 2 new statements to the argument graph. And now I'll add one more using the statement button. Now I can connect them to make a new argument step. Don't worry about the menu of argument types. You'll get used to them as you use the software. Now this new statement can be used to attack the evidence statement from the original argument. If dissolving the regional parliaments is practically impossible, then it can't be done. So now we have made a counter-counter argument. You can change the original argument as much as you like. It saves changes automatically, so you can go do something else and come back to it. Once you are happy with your work, it can be submitted to Endoxa for feedback. We'll explain how that works in another video.